everybody, it's Tamika. I am here to share with you a project that I made. Now you can use this as like a storage box. I am using it as a photo storage box because I made custom made inserts for the inside of my box, but you don't have to complete that second portion. But the tutorial for this whole thing will be attached to this video. I use the Petals and Bloom paper by Paper Studio that you can get from Hobby Lobby. Super cute mixed media box. Like, I love it. I added some of these gorgeous flowers at the top. These two are from Michaels. I added some splatters to the entire box. These 4 flowers are flowers that I altered. I do have a tutorial on those. I will put that link somewhere in the description box. And then this flower is a Prima flower. And then I added some of those faux stems that I got from Joann's from doing my son's crochet, from doing my son's, what do you call those things? Corsages. So these are some leaves from Prima. These black leaves are from the romance novel paper collection. And this is the box. It's super cute. The box is chipboard with the black cardstock base. And then I layered the pattern paper twice on there. I did my distressing technique and whitewashing technique. I will put that in the description box. And then I added a cute little velvet heart bead down here for my closure. I really love how this turned out. I have a couple little whimsical little pieces to tie in everything, and I love this box. So it's closed by Velcro, and then this is the inside piece, and then here is what I was saying. So the method behind this madness is I have wedding pictures, and since my anniversary is coming up, that I have not yet put into an album, and the pictures were messed up at the bottom. Like, I had a white line at the bottom, so whoever took those pictures were, I don't know, something happened. Their thumb was in it or is exposed. I'm not sure, but I had to cut them all down from the 4x6 to like 3.5. So I said, okay, I'm going to make a custom-made mini album just for those photos. And it's like 80 of those photos. And I really like the photos beside that white thing that's at the bottom. So what I did was cut them all down to 3.5. So I'm going to make a cute little flip folio with this size. But because I had so many, I wanted to be able to store them somewhere. Bing! So that's why my photo box is this size. But you can use it, you can also, you know, create yourself a bigger one and fit 4x6 or even 5x7. Just make it taller, of course. But this is the custom album that or the custom photo box that I made for myself. And I teach you how to make these trays, so you can resize them to whatever dimensions that you want. And it's super cute. So the tutorial that you will see will be for this size box, which is a nice size box. Even if you want to make this just without the inserts on the inside and have it used as a storage box or a jewelry box, you can definitely do that. And let me know what you think, guys. Leave a comment, like the video if you like it, and hopefully you'll like the tutorial. And I think it turned out super, super cute. All right, let's get started. Alright, for part 1, you'll just need a few things. You'll need your cardstock. This is my base cardstock color. It's going to be black. And I like to do a base plain cardstock and then layer my pattern paper on top to where I want it to go. It will save me pattern paper in the end. You'll also need double-sided tape. You'll need some scissors, and then you'll need your chipboard. I'm using a heavyweight chipboard. I get it from Amazon. I will put the link in the description box below. Let me tell you the pieces that you'll need to cut in your chipboard. You'll need 2 pieces for the sides that are cut at 3.5 by 4.5. You'll need 3 pieces cut at 3.5 by 6.5, and that is for your bottom, the top of your lid, and the lid triangle, which we will cut down later. You will also need 2 pieces cut at 4.5 by 6.5, and these will complete your paneling on your box. Alright, so what we're going to do is wrap these pieces up in the black cardstock. So we're going to grab our tape, and we're going to start with the panels. They're the bigger pieces, the ones that are 4.5 by 6.5. You're just going to take your cardstock and start taping the panels to the cardstock to cover everything. So my cardstock is white on one side, craft on the other side. It doesn't matter what color your cardstock is because you're going to cover it up anyway. So what I do is I add double-sided tape to all of my sides because I want everything to be nice and sturdy. You can use ATG tape for this. I would prefer, just for stability, using some good double-sided tape for this. But score tape or something like that. This is red line tape. I got this from Tuesday Morning. So it works really well for, this is the base of your box. So you want to make sure that it's going to stay. So I'm just going to add tape around the edges like so. I'm going to make sure that that is stayed down nice and good. And I'm going to take off the backing here. This is really an easy and quick project. It's fun to make these for gifts or to keep for yourself to house your 4x6 photos. So you want to leave a little bit of an edge because we're wrapping this. You could wrap this entire thing if you want in here, but I like to do it folded in this way. So make sure that's on there very well. Okay, and we're going to cut off the excess, but keep it neat because we're going to use that. And then we're going to, about this much, it's about a ½ inch around all the sides. So fold up all the pieces around the entire chipboard piece. We're almost doing this like it's a mini album. Alright, at where these intersect, you want to cut a triangle right over the intersection. So you see, they intersect here, the score marks, and I cut a little bit past the triangle because we're going to fold this in. So just a little bit past that score mark. Alright, and then you want to add tape 1, 2, 3, 4 to all of the sides here, because we're going to fold it over. Okay, and this is going to provide a nice sturdy base. That's why I like to layer and layer and layer, because I like my projects to be nice and sturdy and for them to last as long as possible. So this tape is a ½ inch tape, so it's barely covering, so I probably would have preferred to use a ½ inch, but all the tape I have left is this ½ inch. Alright, make sure that's on there and start peeling it off and folding it in. You could use your score tool if you have one to get those edges in there really well. You don't have to. If you just do firm hand press, that will work. Fold that over. And then one more. Fold that over. Make sure all the edges are crisp. So the panel is covered. And then we're going to take that excess and we're going to cut this down to cover the top of that. Now remember, this is 4.5 by 6.5. You can cut it down exactly to match, which is exactly what I will do. Alright, so I ended up cutting this a ½ inch shorter, like that. I kind of like how that looks. So I am going to add some tape to the back. And you don't have to use score tape for this. You can use regular tape for this part, or not so heavy duty tape, because I know that's an item that we do not like to use if we don't have to. Okay, and I'm only doing the 4 sides on this one. This is going to be on the inside of the box, so nobody will see it, but when you look inside, you'll see a little bit of it, so you just want to make sure that you cover it. But it's not out in the open, I guess. So I'm going to layer that. Okay, this little glue is sticking out. I'm going to layer that right on top of this panel and smooth it out. This panel is complete. So if you will do the two sides, do the other panel, do the base bottom and the top lid the exact same way. Cover it up, do the layering on all the things just like, whoops, just like we did this. Leave the lid triangle out for now. We will come back to this later and wrap it. Okay, so all of my pieces are covered back and front, nice and neat. You want to try to keep them as, you know, neat as possible, especially if you're giving this as a gift. So those are all of my pieces that are covered. And then now it's time to work on this triangle. So this is going to be your lid closure piece. Now you can opt to just have a rectangle piece and not have to worry about cutting these angles correct, but I liked how the closure looked, so I'm going to do a triangle. So this is 3.5 by 6.5, and you want to find the middle piece, which is 3.5, I believe. You can eyeball it or you can measure it. Let me just make sure I got it right. Yeah, the middle is 3.5, so I just made a little tick mark. This is where I eyeballed it, and I was like, let me just make sure. So that's that. Now all you want to do, I'm just taking a straight edge. You can get a ruler. I'm using this chipboard that I have that's left over, and you just want to match up the two marks, the corner mark or the corner piece and where you marked your centerpiece at, and you want to connect those two, and you want to do the same thing to the other side. So connect it at the bottom to the top of that triangle. All right, so do that, and then we're going to cut these out. So we're just going to take, you can do this with your trimmer, or you can just, of course, do these with the scissors. I'm going to do them with the scissors since it's here. All right, and you can throw away these extra pieces, so we won't need them. Now you want to do the same thing that you did with those other pieces, and that is cover this triangle up. And before you do that, you might want to trace it. Found that to be a lot easier if I trace this triangle. That way when I do my inside paper, it's not a back and forth fuss for measurements. So just cut the triangle out. Trace the triangle, and then cut that out and use that to layer on your paper. All right, do that and come back. All right, so I got my triangle covered front and back, and you want to go ahead and just trace this onto another piece of cardstock or just pattern paper to use this as your template when you're getting ready to layer on your pattern papers, just so you can have it. You don't have to mess with the fuss and everything. So going back to our bases, we need to cut some flanges, and in some sturdy cardstock you want to cut out the following flange sizes. You need 2 pieces cut at 2 by 4.5, and you need 2 pieces cut at 2 by 3.5, and then you need 4 pieces cut at 2 by 6.5. So what you want to do is take these flanges and score them down the middle or fold them in half, and add double-sided tape to all of them. So I'm going to go ahead and score these, and I will be right back. Alright, so I have all my pieces all scored. So you want to just take your pieces, and then of course fold them over the opposite direction of the way that you scored them. I'm going to take a light bone folder, a light hand to a bone folder, and then you want to just cut off a sliver off the corner pieces to angle your flange. So just like that, flip it over, and I'm just, like I said, this is just a tiny little sliver that I cut off the edge. Alright, and then you want to take your double-sided tape, and on the inside of both sides you want to add the tape all the way to the edge. Okay, and I'm using, this is the longer piece. I'll just get the measurements for you. 1 second. Alright, this is the 2 by 6.5. Okay, I'm going to cut off this extra. Alright, we're going to adhere these to the boxes, but first go ahead and do all of your flanges the same. So take them, fold them in half to score. After you score them in half, take a little sliver off each of the corners. Really easy. Make sure you get them nice and even. Cut a little sliver off, flip it, cut a little sliver off. Alright, do that and come back. Alright, so we have all of our pieces, and I'm just going to organize these by size here. So there should be 2 of a small size, 2 of a medium, and then 4 of the largest. Okay, so we're going to take our chip pieces, and then there's the same here. If you line them all up, because if you didn't mark down what the sizes were, you're not sure. There's 2 small, 2 medium, and 2 large, basically. So we're going to take a large, and then we're going to take a medium piece, and these are going to line up. That's a large. That's medium. Okay. These are going to line up like this. So this is the large piece, and this is that rectangular medium piece. It's going to line like that. So you're going to take one of the longest flanges that you have. You should have 4 of them. Take one of the long ones, take off one piece of the double-sided tape, and add it to the bottom of this base piece, which is the large piece, which is the piece that is 4.5 by 6.5. Okay, and you can tell the outside is flat, and the inside is the one that we covered with that extra piece of pattern paper. You can't tell on here, but this is the part where that folded over and we layered the piece on top. That's the inside. The outside, there's nothing on it. Nice, clean slate. So you're going to take the bottom, the smooth side, and you're going to lay it on top of the flange, making it butt against that corner, and making it as even, line up as even as possible. Flip it over and rub it in. You should have it like this. You want to give it a little give, press over the edge, kind of let it get to know each other. Take off the other piece, and we're going to take that medium piece. Remember the insides are facing each other. Line it up, leaving a little bit of a space, a little bit of a gap, and closing it up like that. So make sure that that's, you want to leave a little tiny bit of a gap in between there so that can close up nicely. See? So it could be like that at a nice 90-degree angle. Alright, now you want to take the other medium piece, and we're going to put that on the other side. So take another long flange, butt it up against the bottom of the large piece, which is the middle piece. Here in this case it's the base. Take off the tape. Here's that medium size piece, which is the panel. Butt it up against, leaving a little room to fold it. So this is what you should have so far. This is the large piece. Remember we had 2 medium, 2 large, and 2 small. This is that large piece, and these 2 are the medium rectangular pieces. Okay, so then you should have 2 small pieces left and 1 large piece. We're going to take the small piece and we're going to put it so that it's even with the top, because it's 2 different sizes. There's a 3.5 side and a 4.5 side, right? We don't want it to go like that because it's going to be ugly and it's going to have an ugly gap. So we want to have it match up like so. Okay, so that's how that's going to lay. I'm going to take the other piece and lay it just like that. So this is how the box will look, like that. So we're going to take one of the medium flanges. Let me make sure I'm doing this correctly. Yes. I think we're short. We're supposed to make 4 of these. We're going to come back and make 2 more of those. But we're going to take one of the medium flanges, and then we're going to put it underneath here. I'm going to take both of these off. I'm going to take both of my tape pieces off. And then put it underneath here, butt it up against. Line it up as best I can. And I'm going to line the top one up. Even a little bit of a gap. Like so. And do the same thing for the other side. We're using the medium flange here. Fit this right over here. And then butt this other one underneath here. Being careful to line up as much as possible. So this is your box, sort of, put together. Okay? So the only piece of chipboard we have left is this one and our triangle. Okay. So we need to make 2 more of these. We're supposed to make 4 of these. And it's the 2 by 4.5. So make 2 more of these, fold them in half, and put the tape on both sides. Do that and come right back. Okay, so we have our 4 pieces now, and what we want to do is close up this box. Really simple, guys. Take off the tape. Put one side, let's see the best way to show you this. One side is on the back, so butt up one end there, and we're going to close it and match it to the other side. Make sure you're looking at the best 90-degree angle that you can, and close that up like so. So we're going to do all 4 sides like that. One end is going to go, whoa, one end is just going to be matched up like that. Close it up, match them up as best as you can. Nice and even. And then secure your paper tape. Okay. 2 more to go. This box is super heavy at this point, which is really good. So I think you can see it better this way. I'm going to line my paper up, starting at the bottom. Line that up there, and then make sure that's nice and even, and close it. And then the last one. Okay, sometimes I fold it back so I can see what I'm doing. So I'm going to add this starting at the bottom. Have that tape laid, and then line it up. Fold it over. Boom. We have a box. Super cute. Of course, all of these are going to be covered with cards or pattern paper. Alright, so now you want to take this piece here, this flange, and then you want to take the tape off. I'm going to, and this is whatever side you want to be your back. Like if you messed up, you know, all of mine look the same. Just pick a back side, line that up with the top, line the score mark up with the top edge of this back piece, and you feel free to add more tape if you like, if you want to do that. Okay, line that up there, and then I'm going to take the top off. And we're going to get our lid. So you have 2 chip pieces left. You're going to take this. It's going to be the lid. And I'm actually going to add a little more tape on here. I should have probably covered the whole thing up, but I'm going to just add some tape right down here. Okay. Now, remember the inside, the smooth sides on top, and I'm just going to line it up with the lid on top of the box, and carefully, you can do it this way, or you can do it with how you've been doing it, where lay this down, press this on here, leaving a little gap, and then closing it. Just like so. You want to make sure you leave a nice little, just a nice little gap so that you can be able to close this lid. It has some resistance now. It won't close down now, but once you lay your pattern paper and your embellishments on top, see, I've already pressed it in there. Once you lay your pattern paper and embellishments on top, it will definitely close. So the last thing you have is your last long piece, and you want to attach this to the top here. Let's see here. This is going to be attached to this triangle piece. Oh, wrong side. It's going to be attached to this triangle piece, right? So we want to attach it to the top here of the lid. Just like that. Keep it secure. You're going to have overage of this particular one. Don't worry. Just a little bit. Line that triangle up there and cut off the extra. That's the overage that I was talking about. Okay, let's get that a little bit cleaner. Alright. There we go. Now you have your box. Super cute. Looks like a cute little envelope. I love it. Now that we're done with the construction of the box, we are going to start adding our pattern paper. I will be back with those measurements shortly. Okay, for the pattern paper, I am layering. So I'm having a base pattern paper, and then I'm having some other pattern paper on top. Just to add some dimension, and you guys know how I like to do mine. I'm using this Petals and Bloom by the Paper Studio from Hobby Lobby. And you'll need the same size cardstock for your base. If you're doing one layer, then you do one layer, obviously. I'm doing one layer, and then I'm layering another one on top. So just to add a lot of dimension, because I love it. So you'll need 3 pieces cut at 4.5 by 6.5, and then you'll need 2 pieces cut at 3.5 by 4.5, and you need 2 pieces cut at 3.5 by 6.5, and then you'll need your 2 triangles. Now cut one triangle out the way that you drew it, and then flip it over, flip your template over, and then cut out another triangle. Because it's the front and the back of the triangle. Okay, so go ahead and layer your pattern paper, and well, I'm going to go ahead and layer my pattern paper, so I'm going to do that, and I will be back. Alright, I am done covering my box all the way around. Super, super cute. I love it. Alright, so I am going to layer on another piece of paper on all these corners, but first we're going to work on the inside because that could be done, you know, off camera, and you guys can do that alone. But we're going to work on the pages on the inside. Super easy and fun. All right. So you want to make 6 of these cardstocks, and I'm using black, of course, because that's my base for everything. You'll want to make 6 if you make it out of pattern paper or what have you. The measurements are going to be 7.5 by 7 1/4. All right. So once you're done cutting those 6 out, you're going to need your scoreboard and your bone folder. Okay. And on the 7.5 inch side, the longest side, you want to score your paper at 3.5 and 4. That's 3.5 and 4, and then flip it and score it 1/2 inch on both sides. So flip it, do it on the left, and do it on the right. Okay. So at this point, you want to just fold over all of your score marks. Give it a nice light crease with your bone folder. Okay, be sure to get these edges. And then this one here. Okay, so grab your scissors, and we're going to cut out this little middle piece here. This little tiny flap right here in this little space. So you want to meet it at the score mark. There's a tiny little square that we don't need. And you want to cut that little box out. And then do it to the other side. Okay? So you should have something that look like this. Just try to get the mouse out the way. Alright, so at this point you just want to add some tape, because it's going to fold up like this. Right? Should meet it. It should be perfectly leveled off. So you want to just add some tape on the outside flaps. So you can add double-sided tape, ATG tape, or what have you. I'm just going to add this here and here. You can also use hot glue, which I would totally be using throughout this whole project just about. But my hot glue gun died, and I'm not able to use it because I haven't gone to the store to get another one. Alright, so this double-sided tape is 1/4 inch. So I peeled off the first layer there because I really want to make it to 1/2 inch. So I'm just layering it right next to it so to make a full 1/2 inch and to fill up this full space. Alright. So all you want to do now is just fold over the edges and meet them. Meet them so that they are even. And then do the same thing for the other side. Make sure you get a good crease. Alright, so you want to do that again. So I've already cut one out. And I'm just going to add my tape to the side flaps. Alright. Because we're going to layer these on top of each other. Flip it to the other side and do the same thing. Right. And this one. Alright. Okay, close it up. Let me get my overhang tape out the way. Close it up and meet the angles, the edges together. Just like so. Okay. I'm going to clean up your glue as best as you can. Alright, so now you have these two. So what you want to do, I'm going to get some bigger tape here, some sturdier tape, is you want to just make these stick together. So I'm just going to use this 1-inch tape because I rarely use it. And it'll fill up a lot of space for me. But all you want to do is put tape at the top and then tape at the bottom, right on both of those edges. And then cut off the extra. Okay. Take off the backing here and line this up. Starting from the bottom, you should match up. Quite easily here. It's hard to do this. I'm going to scoosh in a little bit. Trying to get my bottoms lined up just right. Boom. Alright. And then you want to just squeeze that together so that they would adhere. Just like so. Alright. So take your other 3 sheets, do the exact same thing, make another one, layer the glue, the tape on top and bottom, stack them up. Alright, do that and come right back. Alright, I am done making my boxes. There are 6 boxes here. There we go, all attached together. And so all you have to do with this is drop it in there. Really cute. And then you have an extra, if you push it all the way to the back, you have an extra little space for another row of photos. If you want to, which is what I will do, you can change this out if you want, and you can use this as something else, of course. But I'm going to add some tape to the bottom so that this can be sturdy. I don't really want this moving around in here too much, but you can feel free to leave it as is or add tape to the bottom. So I am just going to flip this over to the bottom, and you may want to interchange it out or carry this with you to separate your photos. That way you don't have to take the whole box with you, but my box will pretty much be stationary. So I just want to show you what it was like before I taped down the bottom. So I'm just adding some double-sided tape to the back here, to the bottom. Alright, and I am just going to peel that off. And then I'm going to push it all the way to the back, center it, and drop it. Alright, and then I'm going to take my bone folder and just kind of press down in there and make sure that that tape seals in there the best way that it can. So that's one part you don't have to do, but look, not coming out. Now I can put all of my photos in here and they'll stay in here nice and sturdy. So the last thing that we need to do is add the closure piece. You can add magnets, you can add Velcro. I'm going to use some Velcro. This Velcro I got from the Dollar Tree. So I'm just going to cut it off. I think I will only need to use one piece because it's not going to be super tight. I don't need it to be super tight. So I'm going to take the top piece off, put it at the corner up there, take the bottom piece and match it up. And there we go. Really, really easy. So there we go. Nice and tight. And now my box is closed. So the only thing left to do, guys, is add your pattern paper to it, and that's it. Now I'm going to show you how I'm going to add the paper. I won't do that because it's pretty easy. So for this particular one, I will cut it down to 4 1/4 by 6 1/4 because this is 4 1/2 by 6 1/2, and I could do 4 by 6 and then it'll be super even, or a nice 1/4 inch gap. But I am going to whitewash this paper, and then I'm going to crumble it up and take my scissors and distress the edges, you know, like I do, like that. And I'm going to do that for all of my boxes. So you have obviously seen the end result. I don't know how it's going to look yet, but I think it's going to be cute because these are cute papers. So there's the tutorial, you guys. This is the box. You can feel free to add feet or anything to the bottom. I'm not sure if I'm going to do that yet. And there's the inside. Really super easy. If you like this video, please feel free to give it a huge thumbs up. Leave a comment. Let me know what you think. Everything that I mentioned, that I need to mention, will be in the description box. Any links that I mentioned in this tutorial or, you know, anything like that will be in the description box. And be sure to subscribe if you want to see more. Turn on the little bell for the notifications. And I will see you guys next time. Thank you so much for watching. Talk to you soon. Bye.